Good morning, alchemists. Every alchemical transformation follows 4 stages: initiation, shadow, cleansing, and transmutation to gold. Choose your doorway, alchemist, and let the great work begin. Doorway number 1. Doorway number 2. Doorway number 3. Trust the doorway you're drawn to, and let's begin. Welcome to your initiation through doorway number 1, alchemists. Today's initiation, or the reflection in your mirror, is Star Mother Arrakis. Now, this card is about divine love and the fact that you will always be comforted and taken care of by the divine feminine presence. That's a very good reflection to have in your mirror today. Even if you don't always feel like you are being protected, she's always pouring down grace and abundance on you. And, abundance means different things to different people. Let's see what is descending into shadow today. So what is hiding behind this? Oh, we're going to take a really close look at that. Look at me knocking my cards all over the place. I'm so excited. Look at this. What's emerging from your shadow? Is there a situation or a relationship that you're feeling trapped in that is counter to the free, divine feminine energy that you are feeling drawn to or called to, or that is calling to you? Here it's sort of like this bride and groom are in a bird cage, and this cat is just waiting, like it wants to pounce on them. With the moon here, it also indicates some confusion. Is there a relationship or a situation in your life that is causing the feeling of being trapped? And if so, Star Mother is calling you to step into your divine feminine, no matter your gender, your divine feminine, your nurturing energy, things like that. I'm going to close my eyes to do this because I don't like to necessarily pull one of the colorful ones unless it's meant to be. So now that we see the initiation, we see the shadow going on, let's take a look at how we're going to cleanse the mirror or distill it for our transformation. Boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goal. You know what else I think of with boot? These boots were made for walking. And that's just what they'll do. Because with this energy here of feeling trapped, especially, I'm just feeling really heavy relationship energy in this. And it doesn't necessarily mean someone you're married to or romantically involved with. But I feel like this reading is specifically, this pile, this doorway is specifically for somebody who may be in a relationship situation that feels very suffocating. These are the most slippery cards. This is the Phantom Wise Tarot. Very slippery. Okay, so now what we're going to do with our tarot cards is explore these ideas a little bit more and see how we can take all of this and turn it into gold. Because at the root of everything that we do emotionally, spiritually, is basically taking our problems and distilling them and transmuting them into our power. If we don't, then they would crush us, right? So that's our options. Let them crush us or transmute it into our own power. The Three of Pentacles. Okay. So yeah, there's been a feeling in your past of trying so hard to make something work. Not just balancing things, but like synergy. Like you and this situation has really felt like you've been over giving. And that's why Star Mother's coming down And it's interesting that the boot here says increase your efforts, because I feel like the issue is that you've put in too much effort. I think the boot here is more for like, let's get walking with the way the other cards are. Because in the past, you've been really carrying the bulk weight of whatever situation this is. And you slowly let, I guess, weaponized incompetence on the other person's part has slowly increased the amount of effort you've had to put in while they've had to barely do anything, right? That's not fair. King of Swords. Yeah, I feel like this is the energy you've been dealing with, like a wall. Like the person might try to out intellectualize you or keep you confused so that you continue to just keep doing all of the things without asking them to help or further reciprocation. Now, this is very specific. If this isn't your doorway, that's fine. There's 2 other doorways, but this is definitely for specific people. Yeah, they've taken the high King of Swords kind of road where they're like, I'm always right. And so leaving you in confusion that way allows them to continue their weaponized incompetence. And you deserve better than that. I mean, Star Mother is literally waiting to rain down blessings on you. And the other good thing about her is when you kind of call on the divine feminine like that, she actually will come and help wipe clean the slate, in the sense of like, if you know anything about like, the divine feminine, not just as nurturer, but divine feminine as righteous justice. Star Mother has that aspect to her as well. She's not all just nurturing fun and games. She's also like, let me, clear out the people who are trying to hurt you. Let me clean the slate for you. And look at that. Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. So the Emperor, so you have this divine energy. And I think the Emperor came in as a way to balance out this divine feminine energy. This is the kind of person that you're looking for. And remember, gender doesn't matter. What it is somebody who takes responsibility. So the divine feminine and divine masculine are concepts. And the divine feminine concept often has to do with nurturing. And the divine masculine often has to do with strength and directness and things like that. And it's not like that they don't overlap. I think they all have the same aspects to them, but just maybe in different ways. So instead of having this King of Swords energy, which I get from the situation, being that there's an energy around you that's very defensive. And with the Emperor here, it's more like you need to be drawn towards a person who's got more directness. They take more responsibility for themselves and their environment and for you. Not only will the right person help you carry your own weight, they'll carry all of their own weight too. So that when you're having a hard time, they'll help you. When they're having a hard time, you'll help them. But you won't have to worry about keeping tabs or anything, because you just know they'll be there, even if your needs take precedent for a while. And they know you'll be there when their needs take precedent for a while, but everyone steps back and evens out the load again when the time is right. And that's what you're looking for. Let go of this kind of energy. And you know what? This could even be, if it's not a specific situation, it could also be that you have a mindset about what a romantic relationship means that is not serving your greater good, that's still locked into societal expectations or family pressure about what it should be. Yeah. Alchemist, you've got it going on. You are transmuting something very big in you right now. And look at this. Queen of Swords. We've got the King here, the Emperor, and now the Queen. This is what you are going to be embodying. This is what Star Mother, the door that she's opening up for you when you're able to walk away from this idea of what a relationship is and walk away from any of this kind of energy where you're over giving, where you feel like if you just keep increasing your efforts, that everything's going to magically fall into place and suddenly that person's going to do everything that they always said they're going to do. Wait for the Emperor energy or the Queen of Swords energy, someone who backs up their words with actions. It's not just a thought experiment. They're going to actually go out there and do that. But yeah, when you get into this Queen of Swords energy, which is really a great representation of Star Mother, right? Because she is representing love and joy and like sort of Empress energy mixed with Kali energy, right? And the Queen of Swords is that she's empowered and strong and clear, cuts through illusions. But at the end of the day, you know, she's wise, but she's not going to take any crap, right? Wow. So this is what I have for you today, Alchemist. May your great work continue, and I'll see you next time. Hello, Alchemists, and welcome to your initiation through doorway number 2. You picked for your initiation or mirror reflective card, Divine Discontent, which I honor you very much if you picked this pile despite the name, because you're a very strong person if you're ready to face this specific pile, this specific doorway. Divine Discontent is about using a broken heart in order to connect to the divine. So this actually connects really well. A lot of times the thing that will trigger this divine discontent off is a broken heart in the real world, like with a person, a relationship that doesn't work out the way you want, a dream that was broken apart, anything like that. And what this does is this discontent breaks you open in a way that only certain things can break you open. And to be broken open that way allows you to dig deeper and heal more than you've ever imagined, and connect more with the divine. But remember, it's a transmutation journey. If you just wallow in it forever, you know, you're not going to see the results that I'm talking about here. But if you're able to transmute it, and that's what these readings are all about, then you'll be able to feel such a level of divine love that it will overflow from you, and it will attract the kind of life, real world, physical world love just by its mere presence, because it's completely irresistible. People, when they see it, it's a mirror. You know, our whole reading here, this is a mirror card. When you are channeling divine love, you are a mirror. So when people see you, they remember that they are divine love too. And so just your presence inspires them, and then inspires the higher level, soul level love that you're looking for, because you're only going to start attracting people who also either embody this divine love and have gone through divine discontent, or see it and are so inspired that they're ready to walk the path. What is your shadow saying today? Oh my goodness. You can't get better than that for this. So this person is stuck in quicksand, and yet they're still, you know, conducting a bird choir. So like they're taking a situation that sucks really bad, is really painful, and yet they're turning it into something beautiful and amazing. And they don't seem concerned at all. That comes a lot of that comes along with the idea of trusting the process. Like this card just does not want to come up. So we're going to say that that's our card for this pile. Look at that. You're on the right path in regards to some aspect of your life. Arrow. There's this song by Modest Yahoo, and part of it he says, "I'm the arrow, you're my bow. Shoot me forth and I will go." That really fits into this theme, right? That the divine is your bow and you're the arrow. And when these things happen, don't see it as like life throwing you something bad. You could see it as, oh, the divine threw this in my path so that I could heal and get the things that I really want or will really nourish me and I really need. And so you might be in, it wouldn't surprise me if you're in this doorway. If you were in a relationship, and like I said, romantic or not, it doesn't matter, that was squashing your divine potential or causing you such discontent that it's causing this to arise within you. And you're being asked to look in your shadow and transmute this. And part of you knows what this is. Part of you has always known this is wrong. It's just you couldn't quite face it yet. Now it's time for you to face it. Because the universe has some big things in store for you, aka you have some big things in store for you. And there's something in your life holding you back. And it's easy to make excuses and say, well, I can't because of that person. Well, that's true sometimes. But we do have a lot of choices. What choices are you making? What one little thing can you do each day to get closer to your vision? What can you let go of? So much of life is about letting go of, not adding to. What can you let go of that will help clear your mirror so that you can see clearly that you are on the right path when you make these kinds of difficult decisions? When you turn your lead into gold, or you turn your hard situation into divine music. Now that we've gone through those things, initiation, shadow, and how we're going to distill this down, let's talk about how the transmuting into gold is going to take place. The King of Cups. Oh, this is an emotional transformation, emotional mastery. Learning to go with the flow does not mean just tolerating intolerable behavior from other people or yourself. Learning to go with the flow is understanding that you don't grasp onto everything. Like, oh, I want things to be this way, or I want things to conclude this way. It's saying, I have goals and I'm aiming towards them, but I'm going to let go because I know that the universe is going to give me the intuitive knowledge as I go along in order for me to follow the best path. A lot of people mistake the universe stepping in and going with flow, meaning don't do anything. It's not. It's the opening up of your intuition so that when the universe presents opportunities, you don't miss them. And that's where it gets really hard because we're taught not to trust our intuition. And if you end up in this kind of worldly relationship where the other person discounts you or makes you very discontent, then often you'll get confused and you won't be able to tell the difference between your intuition and your anxiety. And when that happens, then you're like, I don't know if I can trust my intuition or not. So it's a good idea to start getting back into a relationship with your intuition. The Knight of Swords. Okay, so going with the flow, getting your emotional state. This is saying, don't wait. Between this and the arrow, I'm getting a lot of energy that this stagnation, this stuckness, this discontent, it needs to be moved sooner rather than later. It's been stagnant for a while. And it's time for you to kind of just cut it off. It's time to cut it clean, get a new start, shoot your life forward. There's definitely a quicker moving energy here. The Knight of Pentacles. You have a lot of court energy here. And look how it's going across. Like this is, you have cups, swords, pentacles. There's a call for balance. You're going to get some pushback if you decide to move forward in this direction. And that pushback is part of the divine discontent that's going to help you transmute this kind of energy into something that's going to fuel your actual dreams and hopes and fuel and attract true love if that's what your heart wants. True love here. The true love of the divine is always present. And whenever I use this oracle deck, the Rumi oracle deck, it always comes down to this, where the divine is just reaching for you. I mean, it is you, but also you're trying to tell yourself that there is divine, endless love. You should never be in scarcity when it comes to love. And that any human love that's added on top is just a bonus when you feel that divine love. Don't let any pushback stop you. Your soul is calling for this. Page of Swords. Like I said, court energy, court energy, court energy. You are ready to level up. You are ready to step into your royal divine energy. And and part of that is when you get through this resistance, you are going to feel more playful. But that playfulness is going to be balanced by your intellect. And you're not going to get caught in the same kind of games that you may have been caught up in the past. In fact, you're going to look at them and you're going to say, oh my gosh, no way I will ever fall for something like that again, because you'll see it so clearly in the same way like an adult, sees a child struggling to read and you know how to read. So it looks easy. So you're just not speaking this language yet, but you are learning it right now. It's calling to you. All you have to do is answer the call and then listen to your intuition, rebuild your relationship with it. I'm so proud of how far you've come, and you've got great places that you're going. Please leave your comments below and let me know how this is moving in your life. So your great work continues, Alchemist, and I'll see you next time. Hello, Alchemists, and welcome to your initiation through doorway number 3. If you came here today, you are ready to transmute some very deep stuff. Enter the garden of delights. Wow. You're being called to enter the worship and sanctuary of pure divine love, to see it in yourself, other people, and in the world. Wow. And to me, this feels like that you've already done a lot of the transmutation ahead of time. If you're getting close to being able to be invited into the Garden of Delights, you can only get there through true, deep alchemical transformation. And since your mirror shows this today, it means you've already gone through a lot of, I would say probably most of the time, not always, but a lot of time, divine love is forged. Your connection to divine love, the pathway between you and divine love, is forged through earthly heartbreak, right? And so if that's the case, now heartbreak can come in many forms. It can be in a relationship, it can be with a family member, it could even be with a job or a dream. But you've done so much work and healed so much, and you haven't let those difficulties shut you down, right? And so let's take a look at what your shadow is saying for you today. Oh, you're getting out just in time, aren't you? Whatever the situation is that has transmuted you, you got out or are getting out just in time. But look at this. To me, this also indicates, especially with this card, that there's a divine intervention element to it as well. Whether you believe that divine is an entity or a deity, or if it's just you and your higher self or the greater consciousness, that's up to you. Whoa. Well, we're going to take that card then. You are highly thought of. And this is so funny. You are highly thought of. That doesn't, in this context, that means not that like someone thinks highly of you, which they do, but you are highly, like the highest level, the universe is thinking of you right now. You are highly thought of. That's hilarious and wonderful. Okay, so your mirror reflects that you are ready to start this dance in the sanctuary of divine love, of true love. You're called to this. That the trials and tribulations that you've gone through were necessary, but now you're going to be pulled out of that, and you have been pulling yourself out of it just in time. And because of the work that you've done, this is sort of like, it's not that this is a gift that's given to people who do the work, because that's not exactly how karma works. It's more like you're born with a bunch of blockages because society dumps them on you almost immediately after birth. And so then you literally just don't have the senses or capacity to reach this place until you do the work. So it's not like we earn this kind of love. What we have to do is we have to take away all the barriers and the boundaries that have been built up. So this love is accessible to everybody if they're able to do the work to get all their societal programming under control and then actually be able to work with the divine and reach them. And so many times, like I said earlier, this comes through a dissolution of what we think love and relationships are in this life, what they're supposed to be, what they represent based on society and culture. Once we can erase that and delete it, not only will we come into communion with this divine love that's waiting for us, but it also opens up the door to spiritually fed romantic or friendship love here on this plane, because your soul family from the other side will start coming up even more. I mean, some soul family members, I believe, come by in order to challenge us. You know, you might have a soul contract about, oh, this person is going to break my heart and I'm going to open their eyes, and I'm going to break their heart and it's going to open their eyes. But now that we've seen that, let's see how you're going to distill this and you're going to create gold from this transmutation. Wow. This is amazing, by the way. You have done so much good work, and it feels like you're like about to give up, because you're like, how in the world am I going to get out of the jaws of this situation or this weight? But you know, it's the dip right before you hit the higher ground. There's a song that says that. I think it's Carly Pearl's Pronoia. Yeah, it's the dip before I hit the higher ground. That's a really good one. Pronoia means that you believe the universe conspires in your favor. I hope you believe that, because it does. The magician. Yeah, you are ready to bring that kind of magic into your life. Balancing the elements means not just balancing, you know, your life, but balancing your mind with your heart, making sure your actions, your deeds, your words, that they're all matching the same frequency, so that you're not sending out confusing mixed signals to the universe, right? Because when you go to manifest things or attract things, the signals you put out is what comes back. And, you know, in witchcraft, they say, like, you know, whatever you put out comes back times 3. You know, that's kind of and karma is the same way. Whatever you put out comes back. But it's not because anything's out to get you. It's because of causation, the natural reaction to whatever situation you're in, right? So if you're always negative, you're going to naturally attract negativity. If you're channeling this divine love, you're going to naturally attract people who are channeling divine love, or at least ready to embrace it and learn about it. Because when you start channeling this energy, some people will run away screaming into the sunset like you are the scariest thing they've ever seen in their life. And that's because they're not ready to face the divine in themselves. They have looked inside and found themselves wanting in their eyes, their programmed eyes, and they run away screaming, or even sometimes emotionally attack you rather than face reality, which is so sad. And those people need more love than anything, right? It doesn't mean you sacrifice yourself and be in their proximity, but you can send them divine love without being in contact with somebody like that, right? Ah, 6 of Cups. Boy, this is just such a playful. I'm so proud of you. To get to this stage, you've really had to gone through it, right? You've really had to have gone through a lot, because you don't just wake up one day in this, not in our world. Now, I'm sure that there's a few places and people out there whose families, you know, raise them in this kind of divine light attitude, pure divine light, not necessarily religious dogma. And with as few burdens and programs as possible. But, you know, you can't live in this world without some level of programming affecting you. And to start clearing that out, to get this in your mirror is amazing. And Six of Cups, you're ready to be playful again. So if there's been a relationship in your life that's been weighing you down, it's time to let go, right? You're ready to balance within yourself. You're ready to seek love that is divine and not love that is defined by human limitations. And when you find that in yourself and you open that doorway to that ecstatic love, that will pour over into your real life relationships and you will start attracting ecstatic love. Oh my goodness, the 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness. I'm claiming this doorway for myself. This is amazing. Okay, so yeah, this really will lead to like the love of your life or the friendship group of your life or the soul family you've always been looking for. So remember, a lot of times we get like spiritual senioritis, senioritis when you're in school and you're like, oh my God, I've only got 3 months left. I just can't. It's like the hardest. That's where you're at spiritually right now. Soon everything's going to break open. And I don't know if you are familiar with Saint John of the Cross's Dark Night of the Soul, but part of that is that the divine will blind you to the progress that's happening in your subconscious so that you don't sabotage yourself. So if you're feeling confused or blinded or something like that spiritually, you might be about to emerge from a dark night of the soul. And every time a dark night of the soul ends, there is there's a purge. And then there's like a spiritual and sensuals in your senses, renewal afterwards. And this is definitely showing in these cards. Magician, 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness. Yes, you're drawing in love on this plane due to this transmutation into divine love. Wow. This is spectacular. I feel like you could teach me something. This is so auspicious. And like I said, all I can say is that it's been so hard for you, but you're making it out just under the wire and things are going to really change. This is the kind of thing where you stop looking for earthly love because you have such connection with your divine self and you fall in love with yourself to such an extent that you don't care anymore. And then that's when your actual soul connections will start coming in. And then you can be real choosy. I personally believe that we have lots of soulmates, but some people believe in one, but I believe that's a little dangerous. If you think there's only one soulmate, then you might lock into someone super unhealthy if you mistake them for your soulmate, right? Whereas I feel like you can have a soulmate who is not the love of your life, but you think they are, and they're just for a short time. But this is opening up for high frequency love in your future. Well, Alchemist, you have great things coming for you on the horizon, great things, the work you've done. You've been doing the great work. So please continue doing the great work. Tell me below how this has been manifesting in your life and what you're excited to see next. May this guide you with grace and purpose, and I'll see you next time.